Hey guys, if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got kind of a little update video for you guys, I guess. So, a lot of you know that I've been carrying on my keychain the Spyderco Bug forever. I use this knife fairly often. I don't clean it. It's just essentially attached to my keys, and I use it in the moment. You know, a lot of people have asked me, believe it or not, a lot of people are like, do you have a knife that you carry to the gym? Technically, yeah, it's this one. Truthfully, I don't carry a knife in my pocket while because you're moving around a lot, it just would be uncomfortable. But I do technically keep those on my keys, which stay in the little port, which is in the centralized area in the gym. Even if I'm going somewhere where I don't actually carry a pocket knife with me, I really like to have something that has a blade on it. And it's not about self-defense or preparedness. It's because if I need to open something right then and there in the moment, I just want to be able to do it. I can't stand not being able to make a cut. So these are not made out of anything special. It's stainless steel, and honestly, I have no idea what the steel is. I mean, it could be anything. It really doesn't matter as long as it's sharp. And it has remained fairly sharp. It's kind of wearing down. You know, this thing has seen a few boxes, but honestly, it could still go for quite a while before it wasn't useful. A couple of problems that I had with the Bug. Number one, it is super tiny. I mean, holding onto this thing, even though it's attached to my keys, this is 2-finger and that's it. Number two, this stainless steel texture makes it really slippery. So there have been many times where I've almost slipped and accidentally cut myself. And number three, it does not have a lock. And I'm never doing anything with this knife where I'm actually worried about it closing on me. But I just, knives that don't lock, especially ones that are this small, are just a little bit, I don't know, I trust them a little bit less. Multiple times, this knife is so small, right? Now, a lot of people look at this and they're like, that would take up a lot of room on my keys. Actually, so my keys have a lot of stuff on them, and I've just gotten used to it, right? And it may not make a lot of sense for not everybody's going to, be okay with having a lot of stuff on their keys, but I've just gotten used to it. There's a pen, and there's a flashlight, and there's a bottle opener / pry bar, and then I've got my keys and my key fob, right? And then there's a lanyard on it, so there's a lot of stuff. I've gotten used to it. But this thing is so small that sometimes after I use it, I open it up, and then I forget to close it. So it's actually sitting on my keys like that, and I'll go to grab my keys, and I'll get in my car, and I'll poke myself with it. It's never gone bad, but I'll accidentally poke myself with it. And I'll be like, what the heck, I didn't close it. So that's kind of dangerous. This is still good though, and they're relatively inexpensive, and I've been very happy with it. But basically what pushed me over the edge, and I think I was subconsciously looking for an excuse to upgrade it, and maybe to just buy another knife. If you guys are aware of my channel, you're probably aware of Cedric and Ada. That is a wonderful channel. Some of the most intuitive content that I've ever seen. Awesome person, and just absolutely hilarious. Some of the greatest knife content that is on YouTube is over at Cedric and Ada's channel. So please check out that channel. But there was a review over there of this guy, or gal, I should say. This is actually the Spyderco Ladybug, but in K390. And can you guys see that? Sorry. There we go. K390. So I watched the review, which was awesome. And I was like, man, that's a new steel. I've heard that K390 is supposed to be nearly as, nearly the same edge retention as Maximate, but maybe a little bit tougher. Definitely not stainless, but boy, that sounds nice. You know what I know about Maximate? I got a lot of experience using Maximate. Love this stuff. Kind of like the idea of a super steel on a little keychain knife. Now, a lot of you guys are going to be quick to point out that looks a lot bigger and it looks a lot thicker than the Bug. And it is, but I don't think it's that much heavier. In fact, we'll go ahead and weigh it here real quick. This isn't a review, by the way. I want to review the Ladybug after it's been on my keys for months, right? And I want to use K390. It's a new steel that I don't have experience with, so I want to get some experience with it. The bug weighs basically a 1/4 ounce. The Ladybug weighs a trivial amount difference. 0.36! Oh no, that's a, what's the percentage increase on that? It's like a 30, I don't know. I don't know what the percentage increase is on it. It's not much. It's trivial. And that's because we're going from stainless steel to FRN. But you said you don't like FRN. I don't really care on a knife like this. Honestly, I just don't care. I like that it's got some grippy texturing right here. It's got that nice Spyderco grippy texturing. I can actually open this with one hand, and it's got that little area back here that actually does allow for I'd call it a 2.5 finger position, right? It's got I think better cutting geometry, and it's a lockback, so it's actually a locking knife. And yeah, you know what? This is a Seki City, Japan Spyderco. Actually, the fit and finish is pretty good, right? Look at that centering. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. Those are pretty expensive for little teeny tiny knives. These K390 versions of the Ladybug come in at about 60 bucks. Yeah, that's a hefty chunk of change for something I'm just going to slap on my keychain. But you know what? In the spirit of research, let's be honest, I just wanted another knife. No, yeah, I really did. This actually checked a lot of boxes for me. It's big enough to where, you know, if I do have it out, I'm not going to leave it like that on my keys. I should be a lot more aware of it. You know, it's going to be a little bit better cutter. It's in a super steel, which I think is going to be a little more beneficial. I also want to find out exactly how resistant, because, you know, the Maximate gets oiled up maybe once a month, and it's just barely showing signs of patina. I want to see how K390 does if I just leave it alone, because my keys get thrown around. Be a good opportunity to test the durability of something like this. When there's no, you know, I'm not going to do any maintenance to it. I'm not going to baby it. It's just going to hang on my keys. It's going to get used, right? So that's the idea. And then this will be one of the, now I don't have the time to do this type of review with every single knife, right? I know you guys want me to like use a knife for a million different things over the course of 2 to 3 months and then review it. I just don't have the time to do that and make the pace of the channel work. But for this guy, this being a newer steel, I will put a little bit more into it. You know, when it's a newer steel and I have, you know, if it's either mine or I have permission from the person who sent it to use it and test it, then I will, to get a good idea of what the steel is capable of. That's what I like to do. But this was a good opportunity because there's a lot of expensive stuff out there in K390. By the way, this guy is definitely thicker. But, you know, I removed some stuff from my keychain. I'll show you here, actually. I removed 2 things. So the 3 things that got removed were this guy, this little pry bar, and this little titanium waterproof capsule. I keep allergy medication and sometimes ibuprofen in there. And here lately, I just wasn't using it. You know, the ibuprofen that was in there was just like disintegrated. And I was like, that's just taking up way too much room on my keys, and I don't really need this guy. I mean, this is great. These little widgy pry bars are great, but the little pry bar that I've got, the Kershaw thing, it does essentially the same job. So I actually reduced the overall bulk of my keychain and then added this guy. And I'm impressed with this so far. I'm actually really excited to have this around and use it. I kind of like the color on it. It's interesting. So we're going to see how this goes, and then I'll give you guys a review down the road. But yeah, this feels pretty good. You know, like I said, it's expensive. I'll leave a link down there for you guys to pick it up if you want to. And the other K390 knives in the series, I'll include them all. But I've heard nothing but good things about K390, so we'll see what happens here. Anyways, that's going to be pretty much it for today's little update. No, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with the bug yet. I'll update down the road. If you guys enjoyed this video, or at least found it mildly entertaining, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.